Joining me now is my very special guest, His Excellency Mr. Monyane Moleleki, who is the Deputy Prime Minister and a Cabinet Minister of Lesotho. Sir, welcome to my show.
Well, it's a pleasure being here, James.
Can I ask you what was the catalyst for Lesotho to become a cannabis advocate?
Well, James, you know, we come from traditions of herbal medicine generally. The only medical people, doctors, traditionally speaking, were herbal doctors, so to speak. So we have always looked upon any herbal medicine positively. The people who came to occupy our land before we did, thousands of years, were the San people, the Bushmen people, the so-called Hottentots. And they relied on Mother Nature to produce the herbs to keep alive and healthy. So because of that tradition that we have inherited from them, it has come naturally for us to look positively upon herbal medicine. That is the tradition. And we are not really used, traditionally speaking, to the chemistry, medicine, pharmacy. So we build onto the traditional medicine that we have inherited from those who have gone before us and are now modernizing it. Even people who believe in chemistry and chemical products for medicine are beginning to become converted to our way of working with Mother Nature, the endowment of nature in producing medicines.
So how far back would you say the tradition of herbal medicines goes in Lesotho?
It's from time immemorial, but at least formally, our parliament in 1974, that's 45 years ago, already passed legislation which made it possible with the advent of cannabis for pharmaceutical products. So it came naturally from the antecedents, from things which came before you and I were born. Well, before you were born, James. I was already a young man when the Parliament passed that legislation. Now we are modernizing it to become more compliant, to become more progressive, if you will.
Sure.
Stay at the cutting edge of legal and regulatory framework so that the investors feel welcome and comfortable to come into our country, be properly regulated without hampering their work.
So is the infrastructure of Lesotho currently, in its current form, conducive to compliance with EU GMP standards for extraction?
It's already compliant, sir, because it was written into modern legislation. But as I say, we are going from step by step to become more compliant and be more progressive so that we always remain on the cutting edge.
Tell me about the environment for growing cannabis in Lesotho. Is it the right temperature, the right soil, the right elevation?
Okay, let me say a word about the advantages we have. One is the water quality. And cannabis needs plenty of good quality water. And all the major, freshwater sources in Southern Africa have their sources in our country because God placed Lesotho nearest to him up above sea level, and those conditions up above sea level make it very healthy for cannabis plants and herbs, the hemp and so on, to grow. And the soils are rich as well. So everything is there made for us. We only have to take advantage of it, realize it, notice what we've got, and make use of it.
Sure. Is the idea for the government of Lesotho to welcome all comers who want to invest and grow throughout Lesotho, or is it more of a measured approach to select from a limited number of the people who will come rushing to
We are wide open to applications and a show of interest, and then we select the very best that come, so that everyone feels welcome and invited, so that there is good environment for all to participate who have an interest.
Right. Interesting. So how much investment has come into the country so far?
In dollar terms, I wouldn't say off the cuff, but I can assure you, sir, there is a plethora of companies wishing, applying for license, even, I'm afraid, fly-by-night outfits. But everybody feels that the doors are open and they are welcome. And it's up to the regulation mechanism to sift and pick and choose the best.
Mm-hmm. So are you interested as a nation in supplying just commodity level biomass, or are you more interested and focused on creating the value add products that constitute consumers?
We are much more interested in going the entire range from growing, cultivation that is, to extraction. We are collaborating with the best institutions and universities from around, from beyond South Africa, from our own country. In other words, we are inviting the best brains and researchers from across the globe to come and work with us, because the atmosphere and climate is already right now as it is, and we are becoming only more compliant.
Great. Are there companies currently growing cannabis there?
Yes, sir. At least I can think of 1, 2, 3, close to about 6 or 7 already in production since 2018.
Interesting. Well, it's going to be a great story to see how it puts Lesotho on the map in terms of a lot of, like, I had never heard of Lesotho. I always saw it on a map and said, oh, Lesotho.
I see.
Which everybody has, but suddenly now everybody knows how to say Lesotho because of the cannabis evolution.
Thank you. It always works out like that. If there is a good footballer or a tennis player, sometimes people know more about the tennis player and the footballer than the president of the country.
Right.
So now that you know us, thanks to cannabis, respect the plant,
right,
because it's made us famous and respectable now,
right,
to the world.
Awesome.
Well, thanks to the plant. I'm going to start a motto: respect the plant. Thanks to the plant, we are well famous now.
I'm with you there. That's great. Thank you very much for your participation today.
Yes, thank you very much.